All right, what's up, my brothers? In this video, I want to deal with a hotly debated topic about women's clothing or the choices they make around clothing and lying. I posted this clip on the X platform and it got 5.1 million views. It's about a minute and change long. Let's have a listen and we'll add some commentary to this.
What's the worst thing a man can do during sex?
The worst?
I don't know, I've never had sex.
Either have I.
You guys aren't virgins.
Yeah, we have.
Ain't no way.
Yeah.
Why haven't you done it yet?
We're very religious.
We're saving ourselves.
For marriage?
Yep.
Yes.
Now be honest with me. When you come out to the clubs in Miami especially, and you dress how you dress, do you think...
Dress how I dress?
Yes.
What does that mean?
I'm saying exactly how you are right now.
Which means implying what? Just
When you have your belly out, you're wearing tight clothing,
my belly out with
and you're
tight
showing
clothing.
cleavage. Yeah.
With cleavage. Okay.
Do you not have your cleavage out?
These are attached to my body. So
Of course.
That she has
That I
breasts.
have. Exactly.
Of course. But you can help what you wear though.
Exactly. So finish your question.
Do you think that when a man looks at you, he's thinking, this is somebody who I want to make my wife one day? Or is this just a girl who I could probably have fun with?
I never
Here's
put
my
on an
answer.
outfit and think about what men
I
think.
have never gone to the club to meet a man. I go to dance with my friends. I don't want to find my husband at the club just
When
as much
I-
as a man doesn't want to find his wife at the club.
So it's not to seek validation at all from a man?
When I get dressed, I never think about what a man wants. I think about how I feel.
All right, let me just start up the car and have a look at some comments over here and we'll see what people are saying. It looked like they were sort of bickering back and forth in the comments section about whether or not a woman's clothing should be judged by men. The vast majority of women chiming in the comments were saying things like it's really not men's place to say or judge on this. And of course get, the white knights that chime in as well. Like we got Doug here that says, I'm impressed by these two women. I find the man interviewing very offensive. Judging a woman for what she is wearing, what a creep. As a great philosopher Cyndi Lauper said, girls just want to have fun. Doug, she still won't bang you. You can say whatever you want here. Another one here says, I think one thing that men refuse or cannot believe is that women don't dress for men, rather for other women. It can be a fierce competition out there for social acceptance and virtue signaling to other women. Well, thanks for your chiming in there, stranger. And then of course you got Santana saying they're not virgins. Someone with an IQ knows virgins don't speak like that. Let's have a conversation about dress and the words coming out of women's mouths. So a wise man once said to me many, many moons ago, he said, how do you know when a woman is lying, Rich? And I said, I don't know. How do you know? And he said, their mouth is moving. Now, that's obviously an exaggeration, but in this case, in this video, I think just about everything that these women said was a lie, if we're being absolutely honest. The only thing that the one on the left said that might have been truthful is that they don't go to clubs looking for their husband, which is generally true. Women go to nightclubs to have fun, to drink, to party, and to hook up, generally speaking. They're generally not going to nightclubs looking for their husband. They might find him there, but more often than not, it's to get blackout drunk, dance with their girlfriends, and find guys to hook up with. That's what the nightclub scene's all about. Some people observed, which is a skill that you must learn out there, guys, that women that are pure, if I can put it that way, that haven't shared their body with a lot of men, don't generally dress like that. And he's absolutely right. Women that expose a lot of skin, put on a lot of makeup, dress in tightly fitted clothing, and go out to nightclubs on the weekends with their girlfriends are generally fairly promiscuous. They've generally shared their body with several men. They aren't pure or, as the interviewer asked, virgins. They switched over very quickly. The two women, they were very quick to switch over and start giving him answers that sort of led him down a path that they thought were funny and entertaining, which I think they were for the viewers, for the most part, because there's a lot of arguments back and forth in that post that I made. I mean, it got 5 million views. Again, the women and the plugged-in simps, like the plugged-in beta males, are basically saying women can wear whatever they want, it's for themselves. And the guys that are unplugged, that understand these components, or these concepts, I should put it, realize that women don't dress for other women, or they don't go out dressed like that to dance with other women. They go out for attention. It's been said many a time that attention is the coin of the realm for women. Just about everything that they do is essentially for the attention and validation, and for the most part of men. There's a doctor that's done a lot of research on this, Dr. Leonard Saxon. I remember when he came to an event back in Toronto a number of years ago, he was talking about how boys and girls use social media very, very differently. And in his research, he concluded that boys will generally use social media to showcase or to compete. You know, for example, here I am at the car meet, here's my car, look at the shiny wheels compared to the other cars, I got a trophy in front of mine sort of thing. They're not generally taking pictures of themselves, whereas women, on the other hand, will use the selfie mode and they'll take more and more pictures of themselves. So that's the difference between how men and women use social media. He also concluded that women have learned, as a function of adaptation, that if they want more validation, they want more attention for their social media posts, it's ideal to expose and show as much skin as possible. They do this. The more skin you show, the more of an angle you show that'll give you a little more of a cleavage cut. The more makeup you wear, the more attractive you look, the more form-fitting the clothing is, the more pushed up the ladies are, if you know what I'm saying. The more likes, the more validation, the more comments that women will get. People will argue this all day long. They're all wrong. The fact of the matter is that women use social media, women go out for attention and validation. If, as they're indicating in the video, if women go out just to dance with their friends because that's why they do it, then they would just stay at home and dance in the living room and turn on the music. But they don't. They spend 2 hours getting ready, showered up, put on the best push-up bra they got, the nicest outfit that makes them look flattering, do all the makeup, the hair, the curls, the tight dress, the high heels, the spandex, the Spanx, blah, 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 blah. They do all of that to go out to look good, to go get their social media posts, to show off what they're wearing that night. Of course, they get some validation from women, but it mostly comes from men. Validation from other women isn't that relevant to straight women. Validation from the men that they're attracted to is what's important to women. So this is why they'll go out and do these things. So there's a lot of lying going on in this video. If you understand what I'm saying here, I'm breaking this down for you to make it as clear as possible. Now, as a guy, to sort of give you some actionable advice with this clip, because as entertaining it as it is, I want to provide you with some useful information, of course. You should be able to assess a woman by her behavior, by the way she holds herself out to the public, by the choices that she makes, by the rooms that she puts herself in, by what she wears. This is normal. This is something that men have done throughout history. We've always done this. We're always going to do it. We can try to shame men for making these assessments or judgments based on all of these aforementioned items, but that's never going to change. The grim reality of the world is that men will always value purity, chastity. I've said this many times before. A woman's past is what men evaluate women on. Women, on the other hand, for a long-term basis, generally assess men on his future, his potential future, what he can provide, how he can provide, what kind of money he's going to make, that sort of thing. Whereas men are more interested in, was she promiscuous? Did she share a body with a lot of guys? This is essentially what these street interviews boil down to when he starts asking questions like, you know, that tie around to intimacy. And then they go and dodge it because of the notion of slut shaming. Slut shaming has been around forever. It's only recently, probably in the last half century or so, that culture has tried to diminish, reduce, eliminate, set aside the notion of slut shaming. And it's never going to go away. Guys will always be repulsed by promiscuous women. I've seen this many a times. You see this all the time on social media, like on Reddit. Like there's a couple that's about to get married and she goes to Reddit and he finds out that she had shared her body with 2 or 3 or 4 times the amount of guys that he thought, or she got involved in a menage a trois, 4 or 5 way or whatever, something like that, and he calls off the wedding. You see these things all the time. Men are inherently disgusted by promiscuity. You'll notice in that video that the 2 gals immediately, as soon as the interviewer starts saying things like, well, what about the way you're dressed and the exposed belly and the skin and the cleavage and all that sort of stuff, you notice immediately these women go on the defensive. Why are they going on the defensive? Ask yourself that question. Why are they going on the defensive? It's because they're trying to downplay, dismiss, set aside any of these notions that they should be judged based on how they hold themselves out to the public, how they speak, what they wear, the amount of tattoos on their body, the amount of skin that's shown, the amount of cleavage that's shown. All of these notions, they all want to set aside. They don't want to be judged for that. But the grim reality of the world is that's how they're being judged. And I think that women are doing themselves a disservice telling themselves these lies or hoping that they'll be dismissed. From the perspective of offering women some actionable advice on this, a wise woman doesn't go out to nightclubs dressed like the way that these gals are dressed, exposing the amount of skin that they're exposing, pushing up the ladies the way that they are, and then telling the lie that, oh no, we don't do this for guys, we do this for ourselves. We do this just to go out to dance with our girlfriends. We have no interest in men. None of anything that we do has anything to do with men. This is just for ourselves. We just want to dance with our friends. Again, I call bullshit. If that's the case, they wouldn't get dressed up, they wouldn't put on makeup, they wouldn't spend 2 hours getting ready, they would just stay home, their friends would come over, they'd move all the furniture aside and have a little dance party on the dance floor in their house with no men around. But the grim reality is they go out to the nightclubs for it because that's where the guys are. So, that being said, guys, it's incumbent upon you. Assess a woman by her behavior. Assess a woman by her choices. Do not make the mistake of inviting problems into your life. There's a chapter straight out of my book on 21 red flags. You want to be able to know that like the back of your hand if you want to assess women for future prospects. You can download that, pinned in the top link below. But the bottom line, gentlemen, is a lot of the problems that you invite into your life can be avoided in the selection process. That's what the red flag chapter is about, is making a better selection when it comes to dealing with the gals. Are these women good for a short time? Probably. They'll probably have a good night. They'll probably hook up. A guy or a few guys will probably have fun with them over the next week or so, or weekend, you know, if they're in town having fun or whatever. But the grim reality of this, it's a really bad look on the gals, and it's a really bad look on guys that invite gals like this into their lives. You tell me what you think in the comments below. Post a comment. We'll see you guys later. Peace out.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough,